Nigeria's counter-terrorism efforts and regional stability challenges during his meeting with the Prime Minister on Wednesday. Our West African region faces complex terrorism challenges with roots in Sahel. Nigeria carries an enormous responsibility to help safeguard regional stability. In confronting these threats, partnership with the United Kingdom remains essential, and I look forward to my meeting with the Prime Minister today. The President added that the United Kingdom provided him refuge during the military dictatorship of former head of state, General Sani Abacha. He said the Metropolitan Police placed his residence under surveillance for protection following threats from agents of military government. In an expression of gratitude, Tinubu described the UK's support during what he called the dark years of military dictatorship as deeply humbling, noting that the solidarity remains etched in Nigeria's collective memory. He said, "Your Majesty, I wish to express Nigeria's deep gratitude to this great nation for the refuge and support it extended during the dark days of military rule. Like many Nigerians involved in the pro-democracy struggle, I found safety here, and I recall that my residence was placed under Metropolitan Police surveillance for protection following threats from the military. That solidarity remains etched in our collective memory, and it is deeply humbling for me to stand before Your Majesty today as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria." The President's comment refers to his years in exile during the military regime of General Sani Abacha in the 90s, when he fled Nigeria as a pro-democracy activist and members of the National Democratic Coalition, which campaigned against military rule. Tinubu was among several Nigerian pro-democracy activists who sought refuge in Western countries during the period, which was marked by severe human rights violations, including the execution of environmentalist Ken Saro-Wiwa and other 8 Ogoni leaders in 1995. So it's no longer news, rather, that Mr. President is at Windsor Castle, and it was hosted yesterday to a state banquet. And, you know, the icing on the cake for me was when King Charles III said, Nigeriano they carry last.
They carry last. Yes.
Well, it's a good one. It's going to rub off on the perception of Nigeria, good one for the public relations of Nigeria. And I hope that Mr. President will be able to tap from some of the issues that they raised at that banquet yesterday to make the security situation in Nigeria better by collaborating with the United Kingdom.
Yeah. We need all the help that we can get to tackle insecurity.
Yes, I like the fact that, you know, President Tinubu took us back to the era of the military and how he had to flee Nigeria to take solace in Western countries. For those people who, especially the Gen Zs, who just talk rubbish on social media. They do not understand where this man is coming from. This was someone who left everything he had here in Nigeria to go and take solace in Western countries. It wasn't easy for them. I remember so well because they fought. They campaigned against military and they were targets. They were targets for execution. So if they had been caught, this man would have been no more today.
Honestly, Adebimpe taking us down memory lane, and some people were killed, like Adebimpe pointed out. I remember Kudirat Abiola, Pa Alfred Ruwani, and a host of others who lost their lives during the days of the military in this country. So without those people sacrificing their lives, even Chief MKO Abiola also died struggling to enthrone democracy in Nigeria. So without those people sacrificing their lives, their families, Nigeria wouldn't be where we are today. So I think the Gen Z will need to read a bit up on history for them to know what transpired before they were born.
Joy.
Okay. Federal government unveils plan to turn correctional centers into farm hubs. The federal government has stepped up efforts to reposition Nigeria's correctional system, unveiling plans to transform custodial centers into productive agribusiness hubs through strategic public-private partnerships, while deepening rehabilitation and reintegration programs for inmates. The initiative signals a shift from the traditional incarceration model to a more reform-driven approach in line with the global best practices that prioritizes skills acquisition, economic productivity, and reduced reoffending. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, gave the indication on Wednesday in Abuja at a stakeholders roundtable on optimizing correctional farm centers and public-private partnership pathways for inmate reformation. Okay. While stressing the need to unlock the economic and rehabilitative potential of correctional facilities nationwide, the permanent secretary in the ministry represented the minister, Dr. Magdalene Ajani. She said the reform agenda is anchored on transforming prisons from mere holding facilities into centers of productivity and human development. And I quote, correctional centers are no longer just places of custody. They are platforms for transformation, rehabilitation, and a new lease of life. The goal is to produce disciplined, skilled, and productive citizens who can return to society as assets and not liabilities. I want to read, providing insight into ongoing efforts, the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Sylvester Nwakuche, he said the service is undergoing a deliberate transformation to align with international standards. He disclosed that the NCOS currently operates 18 farm centers and 10 cottage industries across about 10,000 hectares nationwide, alongside agricultural projects spanning fishery, poultry, and piggery. He says that the facilities produce crops such as maize, rice, cassava, yams, soybeans, millet, and sorghum. These activities support inmate welfare and serve as platform for skills acquisition. That's basically the thrust of the story. I mean, this is a good one. I mean, when these inmates are coming out, they're coming out reformed, better, with skills that can sustain their livelihoods.
It's a good one. The fact that we changed the name from prison to correctional center is the right step in the right direction. And like you rightly pointed out in that story, when they come out, they should be an asset, not a liability. And you know, we allowing them to farm or having one kind of productive engagement or the other will make the society better when they come out of that correctional center, the way it is done in developed climes rather. And some of them are even schooling. I'm aware that we have the study centers of the National Open University cited in some of these correctional centers. So it's a good one coming from the Ministry of Interior, and this is one shining star of this current administration, if you ask me. Mr. Olutunji-Ojo and the FCT minister, who else again? A couple of ministers, Minister of Works, Minister of Commerce, Dr. Jumoke Oyewole, and okay, not Power. Power is not there.
He's minding power in Nigeria. Okay.
I'm not throwing shades.
Let's move to the last story. Sultan declares Friday Eid. Police, NSCDC mobilize nationwide. The Sultanate Council, Sokoto, has declared Friday as the first day of Shawwal, 1447 AH, marking the celebration of Eid al-Fitr across Nigeria. This was announced in a press statement by the chairman of the Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, Sambo Wali Junaid, on Wednesday. The council based the announcement on the non-sighting of Shawwal 1447 AH new moon on Wednesday, the 29th day of Ramadan. When the crescent is not sighted on the 29th day of Ramadan, the month is completed as 30 days, after which Eid al-Fitr is observed the following day. In Islam, the end of Ramadan and the beginning of Shawwal are determined by the sighting of the crescent moon, a practice rooted in the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, under the leadership of the Sultan of Sokoto, coordinates moon sighting efforts across Nigeria through a network of committees to ensure a unified announcement for Muslims in the country. Felicitating with Muslims, the Sultan urged continued prayers for national peace and development. Ahead of Friday's celebration, commands of the Nigerian Police Force and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps have deployed hundreds of personnel across the country. The deployment directives mandate personnel to safeguard flashpoints, including shopping malls, Eid prayer grounds, mosques, churches, motor parks, and recreation centers. This is quite sad. We are looking forward to celebrate, and we're not even sure. We're scared. We don't know what will happen. You know, something tragic happened in Maiduguri recently. That was on Monday night, and you know, everybody is now afraid. It's just the irony of it all, how we are looking forward to celebrating, and then the beginning of the celebration, you start seeing police officers, NSCDC officials, you know, all over the place gathered, you know, because they need to safeguard people when they go out to pray tomorrow. Yes, the Sultan has said that, you know, tomorrow is Eid because the moon was not sighted yesterday. And again, for my social media brothers and sisters, do not blame our Minister of the Interior, Mr. Tunjojo,
for declaring today
and tomorrow. He did the right thing.
Yeah.
If they had sighted the moon yesterday, today would have been it. That's why when you look at most calendars, they always put tentative. It is not his fault. And for those calling for extra
holiday
on Monday, better make best use of what you have and resume on Monday to work.
All right, we'll be looking forward to a peaceful Eid celebration tomorrow by the grace of God, because we are at this critical point in our dear country where people can barely sleep with their two eyes closed. In some parts of the country, we are quite lucky in Lagos here, but the case is not the same in some other parts. And that was why the vice president, which is what will lead us to what is trending on our hashtag for today. The vice president was in Maiduguri yesterday to commiserate with the people of that state. And of course, it gave them the assurance that the federal government has resolved to defeat terrorism, declaring that those behind the recent attacks in the country will be decisively confronted. Mr. Vice President also noted that the presidential directive to security chiefs was sure, and of course a way of assuring Nigerians that the federal government is not taking the security of lives and property for granted. And then, you know, he used all sorts of language to describe those terrorists. He described them as heartless, as hoodlums, and he also visited the victims of the bomb blast who are receiving treatment at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. We must also give kudos to the military. Of course, some terrorists were also killed yesterday, and some of their bases also destroyed by the military. And so we can see that the federal government is putting in efforts to secure the lives and property of Nigerians. But we might need to do more in the area of intelligence gathering for Nigerians to be further reassured that indeed this government is worried about the alarming rate of insecurity in the country. I can imagine what is going through the minds of those people in Maiduguri as we speak, and will they have the confidence to go out for Eid tomorrow?
That's a big question.
That is a big question, yeah, Jibola. They will go. You know, some of them believe that whatever will happen, will happen. They will still have to go and, you know, pray and, of course, still ask for forgiveness. I can't imagine what the VP was going through yesterday, was going through his mind yesterday, because that is his own state. And, you know, for him to go back there and start, you know, commiserating with his people, won't he feel that, you know, I have let you down? I felt sorry for him yesterday. I felt sorry for him that, look, I'm sorry. I've not been able to protect you enough, you know. It's quite sad, you know.
Well, I'm just looking forward to a time where we can be more proactive, and then such plots can be nullified even before it comes to being. But again, our hearts goes out to those families that have lost their loved ones.
I'm sure that we shall overcome this problem as a country by the grace of God, and those who are destroying lives, destroying properties in some part of the country, I really do not know what they gain from doing that. But it is what it is. It's a challenge for us as a nation, though the government of the day is on top of the situation, trying to do everything humanly possible to secure the lives and property of Nigerians. We'll be taking a very quick break, but before then, Adebimpe, what was it like going home yesterday? And John?
Oh my God.
May I have story?
The traffic was something else.
You know, I even left later because I read the news till, you know, I wanted to leave at 9, and one of my colleagues, we call him Dagrin, said, Elijah, go back, go and sit down. This was past 9. As at 9:30, when I checked the Google map,
it was all red.
It was all red, and it told me that I wouldn't get to my house until 26 minutes. I said, it's just 10 minutes drive now. I'll be 8 minutes drive. 26 minutes. I now sat. So when it was about 10 p.m., the map redirected me to take Aromire Adeniyi Jones. And that was showing about 15 minutes to get home. And it wasn't even up to that, because by the time we set out, it was about 11 minutes, 12 minutes.
Wow. For me, I left here around past 5.
And there was no traffic?
Yeah.
Would that have been because of that Kara?
Yeah,
and she drove.
And I drove. It was the demarcation. So initially, it was just one part that was demarcated. So yesterday, they demarcated 2 parts on that bridge. Yes, so the traffic was...
I didn't think that was wise enough, especially when they know that the federal government had declared, you know, public holiday for Thursday and today.
There will never be
tomorrow.
A perfect
time, okay,
for it. There was a time about 2 weeks ago they tried to do it on a Saturday, and the traffic was mad. Forgive me for using that word. They had to remove the demarcation, the blocks, and, you know, open up the road again. But there will never be a perfect time, so we just have to suffer for it once and for all.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. I'm already thinking now. I'm already traumatized.
Because the traffic was already building up.
It's already building up.
She said it. The traffic was already building up again.
Thank God for where I live.
Thank God for where we live, Ajibola.
It's just...
Don't worry. By midnight, you get home.
By
midnight, you get home.
By the time you move to...
Some people go home 2 a.m.
By the time you move to Banana Island, you won't have to face such anymore. Amen.
All right. Just, review what happened yesterday. Traffic everywhere, and people had to spend hours before they got to their homes. But we hope things will be better today. We'll take a very short break on the program at this moment. Of course, we'll be looking at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state visit to the United Kingdom on the program today. We'll be reviewing the visit. What are the gains that are daring for Nigeria at the end of this visit? That will be the conversation after this short break.